Alright, so I'm going to let you in on a dirty little secret. I have a dirt floor basement. And that's going to be a whole nother project. But the boys and I are going to hand dig it out and pour concrete at some point. But for now, there's a pretty significant water problem down here. And I put this pump in a few years ago, but it quit working. So I'm going to look at that today, see what's going on, and get that back up and working, because that last storm we had, there was quite a bit of water coming in here. So I'm going to plug this pump back in, see if it was just a switch that fetched up or if it's totally pooched. So look, right here I have a leak, and so I got to replace my hose. And then one other thing I'm noticing is right here I have a dip in my hose. Now that we have the wood stove down here, it probably isn't as big of a deal to have that sitting there, but I don't want water just sitting in that spot. I'd rather have it run downhill starting here. And then I took a window pane out of these old windows and I ran it through there. So I'm going to try and make a downhill slope so it just drains out from that point there. And a lot of people have check valves to stop it from going back down in the bucket and holding water in the bucket. But I don't like that for the same reason. I don't want it holding water in this line. Because God forbid it ever got cold down here, that sucker would freeze. And it does get cold if the wood stove's off for a bit. I've seen ice all along this floor before. There's no foreseeable reason why that wood stove wouldn't be running, but you never know. So I'm going to let the little bit that goes in this line from this highest point go back down into the bucket. Maybe a piece of, like, see that piece of wood right there? That might have fallen in there and triggered that pump till it overheated. And that might be why it shut off. Look, you can see right there. Piece of wood. So I think that's my problem overall. If you don't know how these work, that little float comes to the top, triggers the electrical, and it just pumps up through. Ew. So when I got to Lowe's, I had to change a hat about using the black flexible tubing. I just thought, it's junk. It split on me. It was leaking everywhere. So I got PVC fittings because that will prevent all that sagging, and it's much more durable to prevent any cracks that led to leaking around the pump. So I kind of need to know how long my first piece of pipe is going to be. So I'm going to measure down into that water down there to the bottom of the bucket. I'm going to measure up to the beam. Up to this beam. And then I'm going to subtract the height of my fitting down there on the pump. If you don't have one of these for cutting PVC, get one. They're worth every penny. Nice, smooth, clean cut. Look at that. No burrs, nothing. Just a perfect cut. Because typically you'd be in there like, getting all kinds of burrs out of there, but nothing. Nice and quick. Good. I might need the trophy to turn this lid off from it. Had to use that pipe wrench to get that off. So this is primer. You're just going to clean your edges really well. You want to get all the dirt off. Get it cleaned up nice. Prime it with this. Make sure you get a nice glue scrubber. Shout out to Georgie O. He's the first person I ever glued pipe with. He's a subscriber. Just scooping up. Get some good coverage on that. Put that sucker back. And then we're gonna push them together. Oh yeah. Get it down in there so I get that full amount that I measured. Typically you don't want to glue things until you're totally sure of your fitting and everything. Everything above the water I'm gonna loosely fit until I can permanently install it. But excuse me. Since that's below the water, I thought it would get things really dirty, so I'm just gluing it on. I mean, it's really only a piece of pipe that's sticking up out of water. How bad could it be? Alright, gave that a little bit of time to dry. So I'm gonna put it down in the hole now. I'm going to measure over to my window now from this beam right there. Mess. Lots of cutting, lots of gluing, you get the idea. Alright, so I almost made a big time mistake. I should have ran this vertical pipe through this bucket lid. But I can unscrew it from down there. I'll cut the hole a little bit bigger because the wires are going to have to fit up through anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. And it will keep most of the debris from up top, like things that might float around, leaves and such. Most of it will stay out of there because of that. I can probably seal it with something later on anyways, no big deal. So I just set it on top so I can eyeball kind of where my hole's going to be, because I knew it wouldn't be dead center in the top of that bucket. So as long as I cut the hole pretty close to there, I should be good. Like Jack the Ripper on this thing. Oh, that was super close. Let's see if that fits. Not too bad for last minute by hand. Alright, now I'm going to glue the section that goes outside up to here. Ooh, that is ugly. Alright, now I'm just going to backfill with some rocks. So I'm just going to cover it and cover over here. And then this is pretty good for now. We'll reassess all this when we pour a floor in here. Alright, and there you have it. So it runs up here, and then you can see it runs all the way downhill. And it goes out that window pane that I took out. I'm just going to stuff some insulation around that. And, alright, go ahead.
Top of the bucket. I'll let you go first. Oh!
Go ahead. Dump it. Go ahead, dump it. Here it goes. You know why I had you guys do that?
Why?
Because I wasn't sure it wasn't going to leak. I was hoping it would spray you guys instead of me. So if you like this video, be sure to subscribe and click the bell for notifications.